Yeah, 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 yeah. Hello, yo, there ya. That's one
Kana we kamba dishena du famne dingo shwa dishena donge rupule kwa lina hima.
What kind of music do I do? I tell people that I do African music. Like when you live in Europe, they ask you, what kind of music do you do? And I always say African music, but Africa is broad. You see, you find blues from West Africa, mainly Mali and Senegal. And then you find very groove music from Southern Africa. So I always put myself this side of Southern Africa, the grooves, you see. However, most of the songs that I do, maybe the songs that you listen to, it really is songs like of Tatequela, you see, because for me that's what I want to do. That's what I listen to, and I feel like I feel this is the music I have to do. This is the music I feel, that you see, in my heart. And but then Tatequela only plays with his guitar, him alone, you see. And I grew up with like everybody else, like you, like you see with Michael Jackson, you see with Kassav, as we grew up in Angola and Congo, you see with Soukous and Kwasa Kwasa. I tried to mix all that, you see, but still remain Shambo, you see, still that my people can tap to it, can groove to it, can sing to it, can move to it, can dance to it. Apparently I was born in Zambia. I say apparently, why? Because I don't remember being in Zambia. In Swapo, when kids were born, they don't stay with the parents. Because as soon as you are born, your mother or your father, they are sent on missions. So the kids who actually belonged to the party. You see? So you are shipped somewhere else. I was born 78. And then I don't remember seeing my mother at all when I was a kid, until when maybe from 5, I only came to see her when I was around 9 years old and 10. So apparently when I was born, kids were shipped from Nyango, Zambia, to Angola, because Nswapo was opening new camps. And as they were opening a new camp, which was called it's now called Kwanza Sur, we were the first ones there. So then there you don't really live with your parents. You are very lucky if that happens. And I don't know many who did that. Later, maybe I was 10, I was moved to Congo Brazzaville because my mother was a librarian for a Swapo camp there, a school called Ludima. And our father was somewhere else fighting and running around for Swapo. So we were actually kids of the revolution, mostly taken care by one guy looking after 50 kids or 20 kids or one woman. And that's how we grew up. When I write, and I try, okay, no, take out the exile stuff, take out your growing, take out the suffering, you know, that's not the only thing that's in life. You see, when we moved from exile into Namibia, that was 1989, we went to a village in Okalongo, and one of my cousins was a guitar player, actually. But he was playing traditional guitar. It's still very commonly played by Tate Kakuya Kembale. It's a guy I did an interview with, if you check on YouTube. So our cousin was playing that kind of stuff, and me and my brother Tulonga, I don't know why, we just picked it up, you see. Only the two of us. There was like 10 kids in the house, in the traditional house in Okalongo, but only us that picked up that and learned how to play it. But because it was fun, and it was and we were just coming from exile, and we felt like, you say, in exile it's a community, you see. We felt now we are in this small village where we knew nobody, it's just the two of us. So I think it was kind of it consoling when you play and you are just there in your own. And but I didn't play for long. That time I was maybe 13, and then we had to move to another village, in Okwanyama. But that time then there was no guitar there, so then I stopped playing, and we moved again to Ongwediva, in a town. It was good. It was a relief, because then in Ongwediva there was a school where some kids from Congo Brazzaville in Ludima were moved, you see, and I was just there a couple of years back, and I knew most of them. So it was like, whoa, we were like back together again, and most of them were playing guitars. Yeah, that's how I picked it up again. Look, when I moved to Ongwediva, that was 1992. Then my brothers, my friends were playing. Then my brother started again, Tulonga, because me and Tulonga, I followed Tulonga, we are siblings. And then the same year, my elder brother, Setson, he came from Cuba. And he was really playing cool stuff like Bob Marley and La Bamba, all these Spanish things, because he's from there. And I remember him trying to teach us, you see, but I didn't pick it up. Tulonga was more faster learner. And then later when they moved to Windhoek to kind of start their thing, I was in high school in Moshipandeka and I started to play. That's when I started to play. And after a few years, I kind of knew that that's what I wanted to do. But then the Rastafarian kind of thing was coming as well, you know. So I was more into reggae and listening to a lot of reggae and and singing a lot of Bob Marley songs, Peter Tosh, and my mind was like, when I finish here, I'm going to join my brothers and his music, nothing else. When I was living in Switzerland for over 8 years and over to Denmark, Copenhagen 2 years, people ask, don't you miss home? But then I look back and say, what's home? You see? Where's home? I spent my first 10 years of maybe first on earth, 1 year in Zambia and then 10 years in Angola. Then I moved to in here in Namibia stayed for about another 10 years, hopping from city to town and then Cape Town. And then for me it's very difficult. I don't miss places anymore. It's like it's just people maybe. Funny thing is that when I first came to Windhoek, that was 1998, end of 1997. That's when I finished high school. In the same year she moved here from Sweden. So we were actually like we were like newcomers in Windhoek, you see. And she'd been here that long. And we only came to, we've been seeing each other like as friends. She would come to our shows, but she had her own life and I had my own, you see. And then, but we knew each other very, very well. So when I went to Cape Town, studied music for 3 years and came back, that was 2005. That's when we fall in love, yes. And 2006 our daughter was born, and 2007 we moved. I feel Europe is beautiful. Europe is good. Everything is organized. It's like a different world, man. But I feel that my music and I feel I should do more here than living in Europe. In my music can sell well in Europe, but you don't need really to live there for it to sell there. You see, so, and I feel like when I'm here, I do more because most of the musicians that I play with that understand the music are based here. You see, so and Africa is becoming home now for everybody. People are moving to Africa. You know, Europe is becoming too compact, so people want to move out. That song is a Swapo revolutionary song that we grew up singing when we were in. But they used to say, why are they so fat and you see, and full, their stomachs? And then the answer is that is Namibia's wealth. You see, it's a common thing. Everybody knows that unfortunately why we are not going forward is because we have these guys in power that are taking so much for themselves. And that's one of the most unfortunate thing when I live in Europe and see the little they have, the minerals they don't have, that we have. But still we are struggling and we are like 2 million, you see? And still we cannot share the little that we have because a minority are taking way too much for themselves, you see? So I simply, because I'm able too much on social media, you see, I simply write what I hear people complaining about, you see. No, this one was given a tender, you see. In Europe or wherever, in a nicely functioning democracy, you don't find that. You don't find a president who has side projects, you know. You don't find a president who has kids who are benefiting from, you know, it's not heard anywhere, you see. So that song, it's me writing just what people are saying every day. You know, I don't think I ever had that strong cultural tradition thing. It's actually now when I'm growing up, because when I started music I was not doing that. I was playing reggae. You see, Mighty Dreads were known for a reggae band, And only when we grew that we are trying to find it, to go back to that. Maybe it actually made it stronger for me, because I started writing more traditionally when I moved to Switzerland. You see, I started listening to more and transcribing Kwela, sitting down and writing down his lyrics and playing his guitar, trying for many hours. You see, so I think it made me want to research more on my people and try to understand things that they do.